Hi, everyone. My name is Mrs. Joanne Ryshpan-Harris, and this is the Mrs. Knapp Show. Today, we welcome to our virtual studio Miss Franchesca Gonzales, and she is the Director of the Business Development for BrightStar Care of West Central Las Vegas. So, welcome, Franchesca.
Well, thank you. And thank you for having me on the Mrs. Knapp Show. I'm looking forward to talking with you.
Yes, we are too. So, Franchesca, are you a native of Las Vegas or did you move here from somewhere else?
I
And
moved here from somewhere else. I
mhm.
came I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California, I think like majority of other people here, but we came via Washington State.
Okay. And so did you move here for business or you just moved here?
So actually, no, we moved here. At the time, my fiance had gotten diagnosed with a condition that was going to be progressive. And so we thought we'd be here in the nicer weather, flat land, and be able to just function a lot longer. But he ended up passing away not long after I got here. We got here, and when I got here, I kind of felt like I got stranded in the desert. But little did I know,
You
yeah.
did.
Oh, honestly. But I'll have to tell you, it's turned out to be one of the biggest blessings of my life to be here.
Oh,
Met
that's
amazing
great.
people. Yeah.
And how did you begin working with BrightStar Care?
So after I lost my fiance, I had taken a job an assisted living, and then throughout in the midst of the pandemic, I lost that job and was looking for a job. And actually, BrightStar had a business development director that was moving to Arizona, and through a common friend or common acquaintance, I was referred to BrightStar. And I went in for the interview. It was just an incredible team of people. They liked me too. And so I got the job. But I've been working in senior living, um, gosh, for over 20 years in skilled nursing, assisted living, independent living, continuing care, um, doing everything from admissions to discharges and social services to administration. I was an administrator for 10 years at a small assisted living in California, and then also up in Washington in Port Orchard. So I've been working in the industry, not in home care, but in the senior industry, in the healthcare industry for a really long time. So it was really a great fit at the right time.
Oh, that's great. So tell me, what does BrightStar actually do and what makes them different from other agencies?
So BrightStar is a licensed personal care home health agency. We
Mhm.
do personal care, which means it's a non-skilled service where our personal caregivers are licensed, bonded, insured, and trained, um, and also background checked with the FBI and the Department of Justice. And they're trained to go in and help our clients in their homes with everything from instrumental activities of daily living, like meal preparation, housekeeping, transportation, grocery shopping, to activities of daily living, everything from bathing and dressing, medication reminders, to complete bedbound care. And they're all trained with specialty training, such as end of life care, how to care for someone with congestive heart failure, how to care for someone with Alzheimer's or any type of dementia. So they get specialty training in a lot of your chronic medical conditions. Then we also have our home health piece, which is our registered nurse, licensed nurse, occupational therapy, um, physical therapy, respiratory therapy. What makes us different from other healthcare home health agencies is that we do not take Medicare. We're not Medicare certified, so we're strictly private pay.
Mhm.
And then we are a franchise, and through our corporate offices, they have commercial accounts. So we work with a lot of various commercial accounts where we're able to do accident and injury and various insurances on the home health side. But our
Oh,
niche is really to work for those people that want the service and this low level of service in their home and are able to pay for it. Then we also do medical staffing, which a lot of people don't know. So we staff hospitals, rehabs, assisted livings, medical offices, infusion centers. And just one more thing. Another thing that appreciates us is that we're also accredited with the Joint Commission. So the Joint Commission being a neutral organization that sets policies, procedures, and they have one of the highest standards in the industry. So it's not only a way to keep us always pushing for the highest standard, but it also gives us a way of validating our quality of care. So it's kind of an honor. We receive the Enterprise Champion Award for quality every year since they've opened.
Wow.
And so for people who understand the benefits of Joint Commission accreditation, it's a really big deal.
Yes, I know. I saw that, I was like, oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I know there's a lot of older adults who use your services. Do you also get calls from younger people for your services?
We do. I would say the majority of our PCA, personal care aides, go into senior settings. We do have a lot of younger people doing transitional type things, like after they've had surgery, maybe knee replacements, hip replacements, where they need someone to be with them maybe 24 hours a day for a week or two. We provide a lot of services like that. We don't do a lot of child care. Our home health side may do some child services for skilled care, but on the PCA side, it tends to be adults and seniors.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can someone call you and have you come to their aid right away, like the same day, for example?
So a year ago, I would have said, yes, we'll be there in an hour. The staffing shortage right now has made it more difficult. But I will say this, one thing about our office is that our owner, our management team are constantly putting their heads together and how can we get more staff? How can we train more? And so we're hiring easily 5 to 10 people, I'll say 5 to 10 people a week, but give or take, on any given week. Half of those might stay or make it through. So really and truly the answer to that question is it depends on availability. So if we have the availability, I'm out there 10 minutes. I'll be out there as soon as I can to get the paperwork in order and set up, and our schedulers will get working on scheduling.
Okay. Yeah, it's different when people call you and they have an urgent need because maybe somebody else didn't show up, or they want backup or something like that.
Yeah.
Now you are hiring now. What is the one thing? I'm sorry?
We are hiring.
Yes. Okay. So what's the one thing that makes your company different? Why would somebody want to work for you?
I can honestly say that working for BrightStar, you're going to get a lot of appreciation. One of the things that we're very intentional about is paying attention to how our caregivers, how our nurses are working. We're very intentional about getting on the phone and calling our caregivers and saying, hey, we really appreciate what you're doing today. If we get a call from a family member, we're very intentional and very quick about getting on the phone and say, hey, we just got a report from the family member. We really value them. And I think that's a big part of it. The other thing is that we're always, we pay more. We work really hard to make sure that we're paying our caregivers. We follow the law. We don't take any shortcuts. And then also we're constantly working with incentives. One of the things we do for our caregivers, which I think is amazing, and this was trial and error, trying so many different ways to find incentive for our caregivers and our staff. We have an all-star program. And part of that all-star program is you have to be there for a year. You have to work 36 hours a week.
Okay.
And then you get a Google review, or we get calls telling people that you're doing a great job. You become an all-star. Those are like the basics. And then you get $500, and you also get an entire week of PTO. And there are several other benefits that go along with that. But I think that's amazing. Can you imagine an
Yes.
entire week of PTO?
Yes. That would
Awesome.
be great.
Yeah.
I think I'll do
I'm
that for
like,
myself one of
I
these.
know, right? That's me too. I'm like, I'll take an extra week of PTO. Yeah.
So you mentioned bringing papers over for a client to sign. So what happens when someone contacts you and what should they expect?
Mhm. So one of the differentiators between BrightStar and a lot of other agencies is that we actually have a registered nurse that does the initial assessment and plan of care
Mhm.
um, for our personal cares. We do it for skilled, which is pretty routine, but to do it for a personal care agency at that level is very unusual. So the first step is I'll speak with them, make sure we understand what the needs are, make sure that we're able to take care of and manage their needs. I'll schedule what we call a living room visit. I'll meet the family, meet the client in their living room, do a home visit, do an assessment, get all the basics out of the way and say, yes, this is what we can do for you. And this is how we'll do it. The nurse comes out within 24 to 48 hours of that time, and she does an assessment head to toe, inside out. I tell them we're not just looking at the medical conditions, but they're all also looking at family dynamics, emotional areas of their life, how they're feeling about life. Did they just lose a husband or a wife? Did they just lose a child? What is the big picture? And then she'll actually get the care plan ready. Once the care plan's ready, it's shared with the client. I'm sorry, it's shared with the client, but also with the caregiver so that the caregiver understands the needs of that client. And we're really looking at very simple but detailed things. Do they need to have their glasses on? Do they remember to clean their glasses? Do we need help with brushing their teeth? Do we need to put toothpaste on the brush, or do they do that on their own? If they have a right side or left side paralysis, do we help them out of bed from the left side or the right side? Do we need to help them from lying to sitting? Do they need to have some time to wait before they stand up? Do they have blood pressure issues? So she'll look at all those things and then make sure that the caregiver is on board and really understands what those needs are. But then she's also making sure that they understand what to anticipate with the diagnosis. So if they have congestive heart failure, are we monitoring their weight? Are we logging blood pressure? So our caregivers in the state of Nevada can log blood pressure, but they cannot make a decision based on blood pressure. So they can do medication reminders, but they can't actually determine if they need a medication. So it's really helping them to making sure they understand the needs of the individual and they have the training and understanding to provide needs.
Oh, that's great.
Then
That's
we get started.
very
Yeah.
thorough. It's good.
It's
I
really
would
cool.
want that. I would want that if somebody, came and did a full assessment. That would be great. Because, sometimes I feel like, the little chat you have with the nurse before the doctor isn't really all that complete. It's very
Mhm.
rushed. And,
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like you've got the whole picture going on at that moment.
Yeah. Well,
So,
funny is we actually do a 90-day reassessment
oh,
or a change of condition reassessment, which is very typical in skilled nursing or again, skilled services, but not with PCA services. And so people really, really like that. We really pay attention. It serves twofold. It helps us to make sure that, nothing's changed and everything is up to date. But it
mhm.
also gives a chance to see how the relationship and the dynamic is between our caregiver and the client, caregiver and the family. So always being available for those things is really pretty cool.
Oh, that's great. I'm really happy to hear about that.
Mhm.
So I know you don't accept direct insurance payments. Do you have like a portal where people can make their payments, or you invoice them? How does that work?
So with BrightStar, we actually bill every Tuesday. So we bill weekly and we do it either through a direct debit with a credit card or with the billing bank account. Um, we did start charging a 3% convenience fee on credit cards just because the rates were getting so high. But they can avoid that fee by using a direct debit through a bank account. And then we do actually work with some insurance. So through our corporate office, we have an account with Humana. So we take the Humana at home benefit. So
Okay.
they can't call us directly and just say, oh, I have Humana. But if they can get an authorization, it goes through our office, and then we will receive that authorization through our office, and we can start services. And Humana patients get 104 hours a year, which is not a lot. But if
No.
they come out of the hospital, maybe they had surgery or they have a chronic issue that they're recovering from, then we can provide services on that temporary basis. And sometimes people end up needing it long term, and we can help, out of pocket at that point. So it's kind of nice.
Yeah,
The
that
other,
is nice.
yeah, the other thing, we work with the VA too. So we have a contract, and we're part of the VA Community Care Network.
Okay.
So if we have Tri-West, generally the VA will, get the authorizations taken care of, and then they'll notify us, and we can provide VA services too. It's nice
Yeah,
to give back to the
that
military.
was going to be my next question. I was going to say, do you have special prices for veterans? Do you work with them? So obviously you do. And
Yeah,
that's a great thing too. I'm very much, in favor of our veterans not being ignored, especially their health care. I think it's very
right,
important.
right.
So tell me one thing that you enjoy about helping people with their care. And can you tell me an instance where you're successful in helping a client and it really touched you?
Honestly, I think every single client that I work with is just a privilege, and I do what I do because I love to do it. I love people. I love the uniqueness of each person. I love the fact that we're able to give back majority of the time to a generation that has given their entire life, and they find themselves in a place where they can't give like they once did. And I
Mhm.
just, our chance, and it's our opportunity to give back to them and to be there for them. So honestly, any situation or any opportunity I have, I really am very happy to be a part of someone's life. So
Well,
I think our most successful, probably our most successful experiences are when we get the right fit for for the client on that first go. Um, Especially having had such staffing challenges, it's like we work really hard just to get the right fit. And so when we're able to do that, that probably is one of my biggest joys. And I think for our entire team, it's like, yes, it's a good fit. So yeah.
so
Yeah.
they can expect, if they contact you, a potential employee, that since you yourself love helping people, that they should want to feel the same way as you, basically, right?
Yeah. And honestly, Joanne, I work with a team of people that really love what they do,
Hmm.
and they really love one another. I mean, there's a genuine um desire to just do what's right. Our core values are like, do what's right, serve with passion, keep your promises. Um, I'm missing one, but what I like is that they're very active and very real core values. And so when we're trying to figure things out, and sometimes it's like, well, what's the right thing? What's the right thing to do right now? And sometimes that's the only thing you can do, is just do the right thing. Or, you know what, we're not doing this just to get it done. How can we do this with passion? How can this mean something? Not, how can we make a difference in this person's life with this situation? And, just really being able to try and do our best and use those core values as guidance. We're not perfect. We don't always have the perfect outcome, but we work really, really hard as a team to do that and to really do the right thing. So,
I
yeah.
can imagine that would be quite fulfilling, that a lot of people wake up and, oh, I got to go to work,
Yeah.
but you are
Yeah.
happy and joyful about it. And I like that.
Do. Yeah, like they do. Well,
So lastly, how can people contact you? Do you have a website or email address that would be best? And is there another email, website, or phone
So,
number that they should call if they want to work for you?
so our website is brightstarcare.com. LAS-Vegas-W. That may change because recently we bought our Henderson office and the Henderson and Las Vegas office became one. So
Oh,
now
that's nice.
we're kind of really ready to cover the entire Southern Nevada. So we're excited about that. So that may change, but for right now, brightstarcare.com/LAS-Vegas-W for West Las Vegas West. My phone number, my personal cell phone number is a great way to reach me. It's 626-831-6344. Again, 626-831-6344. And then the office number is 702-982-2273. 702-982-2273. They can go on the website to either get more information or they can go onto the careers page and apply. We'd love to have some more awesome caregivers, nurses, RNs, LPNs. So we're ready for them.
Spread
We're
the
ready
word.
for you.
Okay, so as always, I want to thank you, Franchesca, for being on our show, and maybe we could follow up with you at the end of the year, because I think we're going to have a big party at the end of the year, and have all these little squares here.
Awesome.
And we will give your number and website out when we post this on our social media channels. And so for the mass public, now I have to say, for more shows, visit us on Facebook page, Advice Dear Mrs. Knapp, or on our website, where you can sign up for our newsletter or receive a free provider e-booklet to help you with your yearly visit. The e-booklet is a booklet that they can print out. It's a PDF document, and then they can fill out their own information so that when they go to the provider, they have it all right there. It gives you space to write questions for your provider. And I think that's a great thing to be prepared when you go for your yearly doctor visit. Also has a place for prescriptions and whatnot. So it's free. If you go on our website, www.bluebirdhealthadvocates.com, you'll be able to find it there. And as always, the show is for educational and informational purposes only. I'm not a medical professional, and if you have an emergency, please call 911 or the number in your area or country. Don't call Franchesca if you need to call 911. That much I could say. So I am wishing you all a sunny day until our next episode. My name is Joanne Ryshpan-Harris, and this is the Mrs. Knapp Show.